Hello and thanks for joining me today. This is Danny and welcome back to my Thaumcraft 5 series. I'm just making a bunch of buttons so that we can do some more machina, so that we can make some more golems today. We're going to be making some more golems, we're going to do a tree farm, and we're also going to be doing a brain in a jar. I'm not sure why that's going in that jar because I've got a machina jar right here. You know, it's been doing that to me a lot lately, just putting things in the wrong jars. I don't know what that's all about, but if that ever happens to you, all you really have to do, well, if you have a label on a jar that you want to move, you just shift right click to pull the label off and then just stick it on another thing. Brain in a jar. This is also forbidden knowledge. And it's just a worded jar with this stuff. And we're going to have to get some examinus. But essentially, basically what the brain in the jar does, you set it out in the world, and it will pick up XP orbs. I'm ready. We've got an empty jar in the middle. We've got examinus, which I got from zombie brains, and cognitio, which I also got from zombie brains, and then plus I had some left over from paper that I used before. Census I just got from cocoa beans, since we have a bunch of those now. It's a pretty easy source of census, and it's renewable. I ended up using half of my zombie brains though. I only have 8 left, over half of them. I only have 8 left now, which kind of sucks because I'm trying to collect those for later. We can use those to gain temporary warp. Oh, and we had a bucket and 2 spider eyes. I don't know if I mentioned that. Alright, there's our brain in a jar. This thing's kind of nasty looking. But what do you expect? It's a brain in a jar. Let's just put it right there. There it is. There's the brain in the jar. So this thing will collect XP, and then we can right click on it to extract the XP from it. So that... Is that thing making that noise? That's nasty. Oh, it follows me. Oh, that's nasty, man. I don't like that at all. So to get a tree farm working, we need 5 different types of seals. The first 2 we already have, and that's the collect seal and the store seal, which allows the golems to pick things up and put them in chests. And then the third seal that we're going to need is going to be the lumberjack seal, of course. That is to break down the trees. So to make a lumberjack seal, first we make the block breaker. That is an infusion. That's right. Okay, so we'll have to do the infusion for that. We're also going to need a use seal. We're going to need 1 use seal for every... Oh, crap. We're going to need 1 use seal for each tree that we want to plant, for each position of a tree. All right, there's our use seal. And then we're also going to need a provide seal. So we need to deselect that. Make sure you deselect it before you put another one in there. We'll have to make the empty control seal. We take our empty control seal, and we can upgrade that to an advanced control seal. Then we take our advanced control seal. So it's a 3-step process, and we can upgrade that to the provide seal. We need lucrum, which we get from gold, and then where do we get permutatio from? Cinnabar. Provide seal. And here's our blockbreaker seal. We've got a seal in the middle. We've got some humanus, peritio, and some instrumentum. Or, wait, that's not called instrumentum. Yeah, instrumentum, right? And we've got a gold pick, a gold shovel, and a gold axe. This is going to make the blockbreaker. Hooray. Okay. And then we're going to take this guy, put it in here, and turn it into the lumberjack. Hooray, we've got our lumberjack seal. So I'm actually just going to do this in our existing garden. Oh, let's see how this guy's doing. We got any XP? Yay, we got some XP! Hooray! Hey, why aren't you picking that up? What are you doing? He seems focused on something. I've moved this chest, so they are now using this chest for everything, which is cool. But then I added I put one of the one of the store seals on here, but I have a filter on it. The only thing that they're allowed to put in here is spruce saplings. It's white. You have to change it to whitelist. By default, it's blacklist. So I changed it to whitelist, and then basically you just click. Oh. You just left click with a spruce sapling or whatever it is you want to filter. You can click on it to change the number so that the only thing they can do is put in 6 saplings if they have that many. But what we want is this little X, which means any number of saplings. And then we want to put the provide seal on the same chest. So I'm going to put this on the side, it doesn't matter. And the provide seal, we're also going to have a whitelist. And we're going to say that you can take saplings from here. So this chest is going to provide saplings. And we don't... Well, let's do a single item only because they would only... Otherwise, what they'll do is they'll take a whole stack, they'll go over and use it, and then they'll come back to the chest to put the rest back. So we could just have them take a single item at a time. Okay. And they have to be smart, and they can't be clumsy. So this guy is capable of doing this. And then we have to use the use seal to get them to plant them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put down a block, and then I'm going to put the use seal on that block. And then I'm going to take my thing. Again, we're going to whitelist. Oops. We're going to whitelist our spruce sapling. And we're going to say, click empty air. And request provisions from whitelist. So that means it's going to grab stuff, provisions from the use seal. What is he doing? And then the priority for this needs to be priority 2. It needs to be higher than the priority on this seal. And this seal we have at a priority 1, so that they will put, if they get any saplings, any spruce saplings, they're going to put them in here. Don't know why he's doing that. We'll fix that in a second. And if they have anything that's not a sapling, a spruce sapling, or if that chest is full, then they will put them in here. Because this one is a priority of 0. So that has to be a higher priority than this, and this use seal has to be a higher priority than that. Okay, so we take this away, and now there's an empty block there. I don't know what that was all about, but he stopped. He stopped doing it. He planted this tree, he grabbed this thing like 2 times, and then he walked away. So hopefully was just a weird little glitch that we won't see again. So now we can set down our lumberjack seal. Just gonna set it down right here. And this one works similar to the harvest seal. Watch this guy for a second. Make sure he doesn't come over here and start looping again. Okay. He seems to be doing okay. And then we can set the... since we're only doing this one little tree, we may as well just bring in the area. And then our requirements are, we need a breaker, and we need a smart. Breaker and smart. So this guy isn't going to be able to do that. So we'll have to make another golem to cut down this tree. Just for fun. do that and see what happens. Okay. What? I don't know what the deal is with that. He did that like 2 times. And then he walked away. Alright, so we need a smart guy, same head. And then we need a guy with the breaking arms, the breaker arms. So this is Breaker. He's clumsy, so he won't be able to like collect things and put them in chests. And he's smart. So we're gonna need 2 diamonds, 2 gears, another biothomic mind, 2 pistons, and 8 great wood planks. Alright, we got everything. Except Machina. We don't have enough. So we can make some more buttons. There we go. Hooray, we got clumsy, breaker, brutal, smart. Oh, he has nothing to do. Okay, let's let's give this guy a little test. Oh wait, I have the hoe of growth. We can do that. Hope this tree can grow right here. Uh-oh. What's going on here? Why are these here? There we go. Hooray! And he chops it from the top down, just like the axe of the stream. So now this guy should come over here and pick it all up. Put everything in there. Plant that. Spin around in circles. Oh, I think this thing is out of his range. It is, because it's up 1. Why is he not picking that one up? Cool. This is working out perfectly now. Hooray! And then we're just, if we want to expand our tree farm, all we have to do is get more use seals. Because we need 1 use seal for every spot where we want to have a tree. Whoops. One more thing I want to do. To fully automate this whole thing. So we've got all these guys collecting our stuff for us, and planting and harvesting and killing and all that stuff. But we don't want to have to come out here and pick this stuff up all the time, right? So there is something we can do to remedy that. A few days have passed since that last clip because I had fallen ill, and I'm just coming back now. And I'm sorry if my voice is a little like an old man who smokes too much, but I'm just getting over a cold, a pretty nasty one. But at any rate, so what I want to do is I want to make a magic mirror. And I just opened up this research right now by scanning a ender pearl. And that opened up the mirror magic. And I'm now doing the research for it right now. Nearly finished. So we just need an ordo here. And then we need anything with air right there. So we can just do air and ordo, whatever, it doesn't matter. Ta-da! And that will open up mirror magic, which I don't think... Oh, it does. Okay, so it gives us the magic mirror. So we can make mirrored glass, golden ingots, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to do that off camera. I'm going to craft up that stuff. We can also make a hand mirror, which I'm going to do as well, and essentia mirrors, which we're going to be doing eventually. All right, so I've got some mirrored glass in the middle. And some permutatio, which I got from Cinnabar. I had to do a little mining to get the rest of that. Tenebrae, which is darkness. I got that mostly from mushrooms. And some obsidian. And then modus I got from doors. And then we've got 3 gold and 1 ender pearl. And that is going to make... a magic mirror! Hooray! So I have to make 2 of these. Actually, I'm going to make 3 of them. But we have to make at least 2 in order for them to be useful. I'm going to put a hole in the ground. I'm going to put one of the mirrors down here. And then I'm going to right-click it. Or is it right-click or shift right-click? Yeah, right-click it with the other mirror.
So now these two mirrors are linked. Now I'm going to take this store seal and I'm going to put it here. And we can actually, I think we should be able to just leave everything the way it is. Yes. So now they're no longer going to put stuff in there. They should start putting stuff. They should start just throwing stuff down here. I don't know if that fence is going to get in the way or not, but we'll see. Okay. It's working now. So I put a half slab here so that they have enough room to throw it. So if we drop something in here, that guy should pick it up and then throw it down there. He hesitates, but he does it. But that's okay. He shouldn't have any trouble keeping up with the farm, with the cow farm. Now this guy, I opened it up on this side, so he should be able to get it in there a little bit more quickly. So if we throw something in there, picks it up, he throws it in the mirror. So where is it going? So we look in our house, got a pile of stuff right here because I put the other mirror that's linked to it up here. So whenever they throw something in that mirror, it goes right here. Here's our hungry chest. It's basically just great wood planks with a trapdoor done in an arcane workbench with these aspects. And when you throw something at it, it eats it. And it just collects the inventory. The only problem with it is that noise, which kind of drives me crazy after a while, but we'll see. I was actually thinking we could probably just put a hopper here. But hoppers are really slow, but it's probably fast enough to keep up with our farm. But we're going to be adding other stuff to this eventually, so I guess we're going to have to put up with the hungry chest noise for now until maybe we can move it further away or something. Dispenser. Ta-da. You have discovered something that could aid in future research. Hooray! What do we got? Oh, nothing. Well, I left the game and came back in, and now I've got the research items that I want, because we're going to make an Arcane Bore. There's a few other things that we could make today, too. We have the automated crossbow, and then we also have this advanced automated crossbow, and then the autocaster, and the Arcane Bore. Like I said, this research was not opened up before. I scanned the dispenser. It still wasn't opened up, so after I scanned the dispenser, I left the game and came back in, and then the research was open. And the dispenser also seems to have opened under Artifice Infusion Boosting, which we may play a little bit with later too, and that's one that we can just use XP to get. And that's going to allow us, we set these stones under our infusion altar to either speed it up or make it cheaper. So we can do one or the other of those two things. I know everybody loves the infusion speed stone because it makes it faster. I'm leaning toward the cost stone, just because to me it seems if I really want to save time, I'm going to save a lot more time by making infusions cheaper, because then all the time that I have to spend collecting essentia will be saved, whereas the speed stone actually increases the cost. So your infusions run faster, but you need more essentia. That's going to cost you more time in the long run. We're ready to make our Arcane Bore. I've got a clockwork mind in the middle, and then we've got earth and air shards. Actually, let's get this started. And a couple of greatwood planks, a brass plate, and a brass gear. And then we have a diamond pick and a diamond shovel, and these cannot have any damage or any enchantments on them at all. They have to be clean. And then the aspects, we've got modus, which we can get from doors, trapdoors. We can also get them from boats. I think that's actually one of the most efficient ways. The only problem with the boats is that they don't stack, so you have to stand there and put them in one at a time. Or you could also excuse me. You could also use a hopper. And then machina we got from buttons, and then vacuous we got from jar or glass bottles. And what else do we have? Potentia from redstone. So it's not terribly expensive. What's going on? Oh, okay, so now we're picking up the stuff. I thought something was going wrong for a second. Almost done. Hooray! It's an arcane bore. This is basically the quarry. It's basically Thaumcraft's quarry. But in order for it to work, we have to set it on top of an arcane bore base. So we'll have to make this. We just need a few greatwood planks, a dispenser, and a brass gear. Fortunately, I made a dispenser earlier so that I could scan it in order to get this research. This is level 10, so that should be a pretty good level for getting all the good stuff. So we set down our arcane base, and then we set down the bore, and it's going to face whatever direction we're facing. So it's facing in that direction, which isn't necessarily what we want, but we can just hit it with our wand on the side we want it to turn, and it turns. Isn't that cool? I love that. I love that animation. That is so cool. I want it to go this way right now. And then, so it's going to spit stuff out. Actually, let's get a little bit of light here so we can see what we're doing. This little thing right here, it's going to spit stuff out. And there again, we can hit it with a wand to change which side it's on. And then we can put our chest there. It'll just spit stuff out. We could theoretically put a mirror there, and it will, or a hopper or a hungry chest. But if we put an inventory right at that spot, it'll put it right into that inventory. So then if we right click on this guy, we see we have two slots. One of them is for the excavation focus, which we'll have to pull out of our focus pouch. And the other is for a pick, and we can put any pick in there. I'm going to put a diamond pick in there, and then we just give it a redstone signal, and it starts boring. Hooray! But it's kind of slow, right? Okay, some time has passed, and we haven't gotten very far yet. We got a few things in here. So let's speed this guy up. And all we really need to do that is some Perigrine. So let's just clear a little space over here. And then we can just pipe it right into there. You see the pipe connects to the base. And then I'll just stick this guy right there. And all of a sudden, we're going much faster. And you can see it's pulling stuff back. We got our little particle effect here. And it doesn't hurt to stand in the beam, so you don't have to worry about that. So now we should see stuff coming into our chest much more quickly. And that's basically it. That's how the Arcane Bore works. Now, of course, we can make it work much better than this, in that we can use a focal manipulator to add enchantments, basically, or upgrades to our excavation focus. And those enchantments will apply to the bore. We could add potency to this guy. It'll make it a little faster, and we'll see this thing increase. We can also add enchantments to our diamond pick. Some enchantments will affect it, and others won't. One of the things that we could do is we could enchant both of these, and the enchantments will multiply. For instance, we could bring our pick all the way up to refining 4, and then it would bring clusters. It would give us clusters instead of the ores. But I found that if we do that, it only gives us about just over 50% of them are clusters. And then we could also add a similar enchantment to this. I can't remember what it's called now, but there's an upgrade we can give this thing that is similar to refining. Oh, and there's something else we can do too. Now it's kind of dark in that tunnel. We're definitely opening ourselves up to spawn some mobs. But we can set an arcane lamp next to our bore base. It'll connect to the base, and it'll light up the tunnel as it as it bores. Very cool. So we don't have to worry about mobs spawning in there. And it doesn't cost anything. And by the way, if we don't use Perigrine, this thing will run. It'll just run really slow, as we saw earlier. But it does take Perigrine from the aura. Uh-oh, we don't want this creeper messing up our stuff. It'll take Perdidio from the aura. And I know in this particular chunk, the Perdidio refreshes fast enough. We have enough here. It replenishes more quickly than this uses it, but you do have to be careful about that. So remember back in the first or second episode, we researched this master aura tapping, or aura preserver rather, keeping it safe, which prevents us from draining the aura with our wand or with anything that we have, like with our Amulet of V. That does not apply to blocks in the world. So theoretically, our Arcane Bore could drain the V and open us up to flux. This guy does a 5x5, but it doesn't do the corners, and it goes 64 deep. So in total, it breaks 1,152 blocks, which just happens to be just under what... Oh, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Whoops. Which happens to be just under what a diamond pick can do. But of course, you know, we're not going to sit down here and babysit it, because the whole point of this thing is that we can now go upstairs and go about our business, and we have all this stuff coming in for us without us having to do any work. And of course, the Perdidio thing... Oh boy. The Perdidio thing, like I said, you don't need it. You don't really need to do a Perdidio. It'll just be really, really slow without it. And you have to make sure that you have enough Perdidio coming into your aura that it's not going to drain it. But where do you get Perdidio? From cobble. So this thing obviously is pulling in tons and tons of cobble. So you could easily automate this thing to keep your Perdidio full. So here's a nice little bit of information. Our pick broke. We have about 6 blocks left. It actually preserved it for us, so we can repair it. Which is great, because if you've got a bunch of enchantments on your pick, you don't want it to destroy your pick. And if you want to, you can use it like a regular quarry and put the bore on the bottom, and then you have to get underneath it and turn it down. You can actually also have it face up when you're on the top, which is probably not a very good idea, though, in case you hit lava or something. And then we can just do the same thing right here. Our chest there. Our excavation focus. And I did do a little enchanting. I managed to get Unbreaking 3, so now this guy will last a little longer. I'll put the lever right there. There we go. It just so happens that our Y level here is 64, so it's going all the way down to bedrock. I actually haven't tested whether or not it will go down to bedrock if you're not at Y64, or if you're above Y64, I don't know. I have a feeling it won't, because I think the range is just 64 blocks. One of the advantages of doing it this way is then you only have to load one chunk, instead of having to load a whole string of chunks. The next episode, I think we're going to do a little bit more automation, and there's basically two things I want to automate. One is the production of this feeding into our Arcane Bore. The other is the processing of the materials coming out of the Arcane Bore. I want to set up some golems to throw away the cobble and everything that we don't care about. I want them to smelt the ores. And I'm not sure if I'm even going to bother with refining. I might. We'll see. Maybe we'll do the refining enchant so that we can get some clusters. Maybe we'll do some enchanting. And then the other thing that I want to get into next time is focal manipulation. So in the next episode, we're going to take our foci, all of our various foci that we have in our focus pouch, and we're going to upgrade them to be stronger and more cool and faster and everything else and more efficient. And we'll also work on upgrading the one that's in the Arcane Bore. Whoops, the Arcane Bore. Cool, that's going down much slower now. So I hope you join me for that. Of course, if you do have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. And I hope you join me next time. If you did enjoy this, please please don't forget, if you did enjoy this, please don't forget to click the like button. And join me next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.